I don't know if this whole hardest guitar chord thing is still a thing on YouTube, but I don't care if I'm too late to join the old bandwagon. I'm gonna show you at least the hardest chords I know, because I can't really narrow it down to the hardest, so I'm just gonna try to think up of some of the hardest chords I know that I've written over the years. Let's see. In my original composition 1, Anemoi, which I named basically after the Greek gods of wind or whatever they are. I only picked the name because it sounded cool, okay? But pretty much I have a couple chords from that. The opening chord progression is ripped off from Buckethead's Beyond the Knowing. Yeah, that chord. As you can see from the pained look on my left hand, it's very, very stretchy, and if you don't have big hands, this is a very hard chord to play. I'm kind of giving you the finger there, but again, if you have big hands like me, it's not too bad. The hardest part is just the distance. And by the way, the tab is... I'll post the tabs in the description below, but for this chord, it's mute the E, then on the A string, 2, 6, 8, open, open. I haven't named a lot of these chords since weird chords like this are hard to name, but I'm sure you can figure it out. Next, also from the same composition, there's this progression. Again, very stretchy. If you don't have big hands, it can be very hard. Since being as low on the neck as possible, which is on the low B, is the lowest point I go in that song, you could throw it down another semitone. So again, pained look on my left hand, but if you practice it, it's not too bad. And then at the end of that song, there's this chord progression. Crap. Now this is getting harder. I haven't warmed up yet, but if I get myself warmed up before playing that, I can get it okay. The chord itself is open, 7, 9, open, open, 7. Now if you just play it with these 3 fingers, it's not that hard. But what makes this chord hard is playing it within the context of the song itself, because you're playing it open on the high E string, and then accenting the little melodic elements to it. And then this next part is the hard part, because it's open, 5, 7, 5, open. Which I have to admit, that one's pretty hard. But if you really get into the groove of the song, you don't really notice how much pain your left hand is in, so overall it's not too bad. You gotta have to really bend your hand to really get it. But if you get lucky every once in a while, it'll work. Let's see, next is this. So starting on the A string, it's open, 2, 4, 1, 3. And you could make it, which is an A minor 9, and if you move it up here and mute the A string, you can make it E minor 9. Whenever I try to teach people this chord, they always have a really tough time with it. I guess it's just because I've always been taught to keep independence between my fingers. And during my Great Guitar Warm-Ups video, the first one, you'll see that when I warm up, the whole first minute is no guitar stuff. I'm just doing stuff with my hands, stretching them, and then I do this thing. And if you're wondering what this thing is, this is something I learned back when I took piano lessons many, many years ago. So it's 2, 4, 1, 3, 2, 4, 1, 3. It's really hard to do at first, but if you practice it, you'll get faster and faster at it. And this is a really great exercise to do because every time you play a power chord, you're just doing this. See? And that's essentially what this chord is. It's just stacked these. Because the 2 and 4 are your 2 and 4 fingers. And then the 1 and 3 are your 1 and 3 fingers. So for me personally, this chord isn't that hard. But if you try learning it, you're probably gonna have to take a minute to go, get over there, pinky. So there's that. It's probably one of the sexiest chords I know. Oh yeah, that's great. Or it could be this. Oh, that's really sexy. Maybe this. Nah, not that so much. Or another 9 chord. Oh, that's nice. Oh, speaking of sexy chords, I have another really sexy chord that's also very hard to play. So what it is 8, 10, 9, 8, 10, mute the D string, 9, 12, 12. Whoops. I'm guessing it's some kind of dominant, C dominant 7, I'd say. It sounds especially good if you whammy bar it. Yeah, but when you first learn it, yeah, you can tell my left hand is just all over the place, and you have to bar your pinky. And not many guitarists have, especially like beginning and intermediate guitarists don't have the pinky strength to bar with their pinky. Like, oh yeah, during my epilogue, original, I think that's original composition 12. Why did I even number those? I guess it's just because at the time I didn't have names for them. But there's one part where it's like... where I just do harmonics with my pinky. It's kind of the same thing, but just... Again, if you just practice on building your pinky strength, you should be able to play that without much difficulty. Going back into the stretchy stuff, the minor 9 and major 9 chords are some of the hardest chords to play, especially when they're the lowest you can get, which is F. It's so hard I can't even play it. I can play it G okay. Wait. There we go. And to make it even harder, add the A to make it major. Actually, it might be harder minor, because then you have to bar 4 of the strings instead of just 3. But either way, just go 1, 3, 3, 5, 1, 1, 1, or 1, 3, 5, 2, 1, 1. Either chord is gonna make you cramp up if you don't warm up first. And if you don't have big hands like me, this is especially hard. It sounds nice though, but the lowest I can really go playing it effectively is F sharp. So going down that extra semitone for me, if I just work at it, shouldn't be too bad. Oh, in the beginning of Roadrunner, another original composition of mine, this chord, when you first learn it, is also kind of tricky. So what it is you bar your first finger across the 7th fret, and then put your 3rd finger on the 10th fret of the low E, and your pinky on the 10th fret of the high E. So what you're doing is taking the G form, well, the rock G, the G where you don't have this major 3rd here. So you take that and then move it up 7 frets to make it a D major. And if you want to make it harder, you could put your 2nd finger on the 9th fret of the A string to make it that full G. Whew. Some wild and crazy stuff. The last one is, the only thing that makes this last one hard is just the big stretch you have to do. So it's starting on the A string, it's open, 10, 12, 13, 17. So very weird form of like an A minor 7. So it's not too hard for me, again, because I have big hands, and also I'm just used to making that chord. I've made that chord a lot, I've practiced it before. So it's not too hard for me, but when you first learn it, especially if you have small hands, it's going to be really tempting to go like that, which also sounds nice, but my chord is to get the full octave, get your pinky out 2 more frets. And those are my hardest chords that I know, I guess. What's the hardest chord you know? Let me know, and maybe we can get a discussion going in the comments, or if you posted a video of your hardest chord already, post a link to it and I'll check it out. So yeah, thanks for watching.